The greed for obstinacy. There was once an honest man who had never in his life taken advantage of others. He was kind and hard-working, but he had not achieved any success in life. This man, whose name was Single Mind, was constantly being betrayed and exploited. But this did not trouble him particularly, because, quite rightly, he knew that his own straightforwardness could not be corrupted by the villainy of others. Single Mind practiced charity and generosity and kindness to the full extent of his capacity, reposing his trust in the justice which would follow such a life, as he was convinced it must. But he was not tranquil in mind, so he went to a sage and asked him what to do. The sage said, "Brother, honesty, hard work, kindness, these are all things which are of the utmost importance to humankind if realization is to be attained. But you must be sure that you are really honest, that you are indeed not offsetting your generosity by an equally harmful greed for obstinacy in following your own opinions about your way of action." The sage offered him a way of observing and correcting himself, but Single Mind did not like to hear his honesty described as obstinacy, and concluded that the sage must be wrong. He resolved, therefore, to make a journey to see the great saint Musa al-Kazim, to seek his advice as to how his fortune and his prospects of spiritual development might be changed. He set off along the road. Presently this good man, crossing a wilderness, came upon a very fierce-looking tiger which was rolling in the dust. When he saw the traveller, the tiger stopped doing this and said, "Son of man, where are you going?" Single Mind said, "Unfortunate in my past and present, uncertain as to my future, I am seeking the great Saint Musa al-Kazim to beseech him to give me his advice." "I am Share the tiger," said the wild beast, "and I beg of you to ask the saint what I can do to improve my own condition, for I am miserable and out of sorts. There is something wrong with me, and I need perceptive advice." "Willingly," said Single Mind, and continued on his way. In the course of time he arrived at the bank of a river, and saw a great fish with its mouth opening and shutting, half in and half out of the water. The fish said, "Son of man, where are you going?" Single Mind told all that had happened. "I am Mahi the fish," said the fish, "and there is something wrong with me. For some reason I cannot swim in the water, and I need some kind of help. Please ask the saint when you see him to send me advice on my problem." Single Mind promised to do so, and continued on his way. After much journeying, the pilgrim came upon 3 men. They were wearily digging in a piece of sandy ground. Single Mind stopped and asked them why they were laboring so hard in such an unpromising field. "We are the 3 sons of a good man who has recently died," they told him. "Our father left us this land and told us to dig it, which is what we are doing. But it seems to us that it is so poor that nothing will ever grow on it." They asked Single Mind what his mission was, and when he told them, they begged him to ask for the saint's solution to their own difficulty. Single Mind willingly promised to help them in this way, and continued on his journey. Eventually, the traveller reached his destination and found the great teacher sitting, as always, modestly and without ostentation, with a group of people who had come to learn from him. When Single Mind approached, the saint said, "Speak." And Single Mind said, "I am such and such a man, and I have come to seek your help. But before I do so, I have certain representations to make, Lord, on behalf of 3 men, a fish, and a tiger, whom I met on my long journey, and who may be deserving of your kindness." When asked to continue, he recited the difficulties which beset the men, the fish, and the animal. "Your presence might now kindly deign to allow this unworthy person to describe his own condition, so that advice for him too might generously be forthcoming." But Musa al-Kazim said, "My brother, your answer has already been contained in what I have advised." So Single Mind retraced his steps, wondering how he could understand, from what the saint had said, how to solve his own problems. In due time he came upon the 3 men, still working in the barren field. He told them, "I have consulted the great saint, and this is his advice. Let the 3 men," he said, "dig in the exact middle of the field. They will find an underground chamber with treasures which are theirs." This is the meaning of the instruction of their father to dig the field. Single Mind helped the 3 men to follow this advice, and presently they came upon a treasure of incalculable size, together with a number of remarkable instruments which would enable people to achieve what most men call wonders, whether in the service of humanity or otherwise. The brothers offered Single Mind his pick of gold or of the wondrous devices, but he said, "Kind friends, I have only done my duty. All this belongs to you, and I have no right to covet it. May you be in peace." And he went on his way. Eventually, too, he came upon the great fish, who asked him if he had been able to obtain any guidance for the relief of her suffering. "Lady Fish," said Single Mind, "the great saint has, by his wonderful perceptions, alleviated the lot of 3 pauper brothers, indicating a treasure to them. His advice about your case was as follows: let a blow be struck on the left side of the head of the fish, and she will thenceforward be able to swim and gambol and have fun in the water quite normally." The fish begged Single Mind to help, so he took his staff and struck her a blow on the place which the saint had indicated. No sooner had he done so than the fish slid into the water and swam, leaping and playing with unrestrained joy. Then she glided through the water to Single Mind and thanked him deeply for his help. But Single Mind said, "Mahi, when I struck your head, it split a lump, which seems to have been upsetting your balance." "Yes, yes," said Mahi, "but that is nothing to me. I only know that I am free and well." Single Mind continued, "Out of that place on your head has dropped, and is here on the bank, a diamond larger than a watermelon. Take it, or someone will surely steal it." "And what is that to me, a fish?" said Mahi, and she streaked away, calling down blessings upon her benefactor. "Oh, my sister," Single Mind called out after her, "you'll be robbed if I leave the jewel lying here." And he threw the huge gem into the water near where he had seen the fish disappear. Ultimately going his way, the traveller came to the place where the troubled tiger sat. He recited all his adventures, and the tiger asked what Musa al-Kazim has advised in his own case. "The saint," said Single Mind, "specifically stated that your condition could be alleviated only by devouring a fool. Do that, and you will have no further troubles." "And neither will you," roared the lion, leaping upon him.